And then an Audi comes down this road, like a really, really sports car Audi. And I'm like, oh my gosh, praise the Lord, you know. It's like, thank you for saving me from walking farther and trying to go to that ghetto house. You know, I'm just gonna try to stop. Maybe it's another dumb tourist trying to take this road. So I stood in the middle of the road so he'd stop for me. And the guy rolled down his window. He was like a bald dude, and he was really like muscular and stuff. Like he was probably like older 30s, and he rolled down the window, and he had a little girl in his car too. So I was like, okay, you know, it's better. And I was trying to get the words out, but again, I was crying. I was very upset. And I was like, sir, do you have a truck? You know, I got my car stuck over there, and I don't have a phone. I can't call anyone. I'm kind of just, you know, helpless. And so he's like, okay, well, my cell phone doesn't really work because it's out in the middle of nowhere. He's like, it's really touchy, so would you mind coming to my house with me to go, you know, I have a landline there. And I'm like, sure, you know. And so I had my mace and I clicked it so, you know, it was ready. And I walk around, and it's like, it's super sporty Audi, only 2 seats. So the little girl, she like had to sit on my lap, and we rode, you know, he took me to his house. And so I was at the house, and I kind of just stayed at the kitchen. I called my dad, and I told him, you know, what was going on. And the guy was really, really nice, and he told my dad directions of how to find my car, because again, I of course had to get it lost in the middle of nowhere. And so the guy is, you know, talking to me, and I tried to call my mom to let her know that I was okay, because, you know, I kind of just left her. I called her and my phone died on her, and so she's probably, you know, having a heart attack, but the phone wouldn't work anymore, so I never got to call my mom. And so, anyways, I basically stayed at that guy's house for an hour, like 40 minutes to an hour, till my dad got there. And it was funny because the little girl, like, she took me into the garage, and I didn't want the door to shut, and I had my mace with me. And she was like a little girl, and she's like, oh, it's good, it's really smart to have mace with us, because, you know, there's wolves around here. And I was like, that's what I'm concerned about, you know. And she's like, you should just spend the night. We don't get a lot of visitors. You should just spend the night. And I was like, oh, sweetie, you know, my dad's coming. And anyways, so the guy got his gator and drove us down to where my car was, and tried to look for, you know, a tow hook, because he had a tow strap so that we could have my dad's truck come pull me out. And so he was looking, and I guess the back of my car does not have a tow hook. So I was kind of screwed. So he's looking, and he's looking for this tow strap. And he's looking at the car, and he's like, you know, honey, I don't think we'll be able to get this out with a truck. He's like, this is really bad. We're going to have to call a wrecker. I think we'll have to call a wrecker, or we're going to have to pull out. He's like, either one, your car is just going to roll down the hill and be totaled, or we'll try to pull it out, and all the underneath of the car is going to be ripped out because of these boulders. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm such an idiot, you know. And I just was getting so upset. And so I was like, no, you know, there has to be another option. Let's just find another tow. There has to be a tow hook. Let's just try it, you know. And so we found a tow hook in the front, and the guy was, you know, trying to think of ways that we could get the car out so it wouldn't roll and I would still have my car. So basically, you know, it's been 40 minutes and my dad comes, but there's like this diesel pickup coming down the road and I don't recognize the guy in the driver's seat. And so I was like, oh, sir, you know, thank you, we have someone coming. And then I'm like, oh, it's my dad's friend Andy, and here comes my dad out of the car. So my dad went and got his friend because he has a diesel pickup, so we'd have more power. And so we just started to try to clear as many boulders from out of the car as possible without it, you know, like rolling, and so that it wouldn't when we pulled it up. And so we hooked onto the front of the tow strap and we angled the truck just perfectly so it would rip out the Camry without it trying to roll down the hill. So it came time to do it and everything went well. Like everything, you know, it went out right away. Nothing was hurt underneath the car. You know, my muffler was intact. Everything, the car started still. All of that is perfect. And we got it out and I backed it up and it was leaking oil a little bit, but I was just happy that it was completely fine and I made it out of the situation. And then the guy's gator dies. So we're trying to back up this diesel pickup to jump the gator, and we're trying to move the gator so we can jump it. So that was another like 30-minute ordeal. And then down this dead-end road that's probably seen the most action it's ever seen in its life, I see this blue Jeep coming down the road. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that's my mother. Like, no, I didn't even call her to tell her everything was okay. My dad and my mom are divorced. They don't talk. They didn't know the other knew. And here comes my mother, Liam Neeson, in her blue Jeep down the road, you know, and she's frantic. She jumps out. She gives me a big hug, and she's like, don't you ever do that again to me. You know, she's like panting. I was like, how the heck did you find me? And she's like, I've been looking down every gravel road in Butte Falls, and you know how many gravel roads there are in Butte Falls? Like, this lady, I'm just so happy because I know if I get kidnapped, like, my mom's gonna be on it. She's gonna be like, she's probably works for the CIA and I don't even know, you know? She just says she's a teacher. And, so, yeah, like, it's crazy. So that was my experience. I have a lot more stories to tell if you guys want to hear them. If you like me, you know, I don't know, whatever, give this video a thumbs up or a thumbs down, you know, that's cool, it's Gucci. Leave me a comment. I don't know, if you want to subscribe, that'd be awesome too. Yeah, anyways, have a wonderful day, and thank you for spending your time listening to my life-threatening event. Anyways, bye!